My name is Wright. I'm the founder of Climate Tracker, and we're a global network of journalists who write about climate and the environment.
Okay, yeah. There's this story on coal mining in Kogi State, and then a lot of rural communities are being affected. I want to see, do you think it's something that is sustainable?
So, I'm from Australia. Our economy is basically built on coal. And for almost 100 years, Australia has tried to build an economy based on coal. But what we have learned in those 100 years is, one, this has global impacts. So burning coal affects people all around the world through the impacts on climate change. And this is becoming a crisis all around the world. But two, mining for coal is very dangerous. It has both dangers to the coal miners, and it has a lot of dangers to the surrounding communities, because to dig up coal you usually need to use a bunch of chemicals, a bunch of explosives, or even kind of high-powered hoses depending on the type of environment. And to do that, you have a lot of impacts on the local community, the river systems, but also on the air that they breathe, particularly the air that coal miners breathe. So what we've seen all around the world is miners dying prematurely from black lung. We see the air pollution around coal mines directly affecting young and old people in those communities. And we see the kind of global impacts of coal mining. So I don't see how coal mining can be considered sustainable, whether it's from a human health perspective, from an economic perspective, because countries are shifting to renewables, and particularly from an environmental perspective. It's certainly not sustainable.
Okay, the federal government of Nigeria, for instance, signed the Paris Agreement and then submitted its NDC as part of its commitment to reduce carbon emission. Do you think this is still a good idea, gesture, embracing coal to generate power and coal technology despite the Paris Agreement?
Well, I mean, coal mining doesn't mean you're building a coal plant, but Antonio Guterres, the head of the UN, Executive Secretary of the UN, has said he doesn't want to see any more coal plants after 2020. So if Nigeria is planning to build coal plants, then they're going directly against the Executive Secretary of the United Nations. If Nigeria is planning to export that coal to other countries who have coal plants, they're still doing the same thing, they're just they're exporting the emissions somewhere else. So mining coal and building coal plants is about the last thing you want to be doing right now, if you care about people and if you care about the environment. Sure, in the short term, you can justify it by saying there are coal plants and they need coal. It makes us money. Great. But there is an old Native American saying that says, after you burn all the trees and then you dig up all the mining and stuff like that, you'll realize that you can't eat money. So the question is, if Nigeria is trying to dig up coal to make money for its country, is it doing that in a way that is sustainable for those people? And is the way that they're making money sustainable? Now, making money from coal mining is not sustainable. But also you can ask, what are they using that money for? And I think that's a secondary question around, are they even using the money from the coal mining in sustainable ways? Because there's two elements of this sustainability question.
So your advice?
I'll probably have to leave that to the end. Let's do it now. Let's do it after.
All right.